Hi, Pastor Dan Smith here with your daily devotion for Thursday, July 23rd. Today's reading is from Psalm 119. I'll read the text 3 times. First, just to hear the words and let them come into us. Your decrees are wonderful. Therefore, my soul keeps them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It imparts understanding to the simple. With open mouth I pant, because I long for your commandments. Turn to me and be gracious to me, as is your custom toward those who love your name. Keep my steps steady according to your promise, and never let iniquity have dominion over me. I'll read it a second time, and now we listen for a word or phrase that stands out for us in the text. Your decrees are wonderful. Therefore my soul keeps them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It imparts understanding to the simple. With open mouth I pant, because I long for your commandments. Turn to me and be gracious to me, as is your custom toward those who love your name. Keep my steps steady according to your promise, and never let iniquity have dominion over me. For me, the word was pant. Okay, I'll read it a third time, and now we ask how the text meets us in our life. Your decrees are wonderful. Therefore, my soul keeps them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It imparts understanding to the simple. With open mouth I pant, because I long for your commandments. Turn to me and be gracious to me, as is your custom toward those who love your name. Keep my steps steady according to your promise, and never let iniquity have dominion over me. There is a kind of warmth and openness and hopefulness that the psalmist expresses in this text. It's 119, which is the longest chapter in all of the Bible. The word pant for me expresses a need that I think maybe many of us feel right now in many and various ways for God, for hope, for joy, that is in many ways lacking at a difficult time as we face difficult news about a pandemic, about systemic racism, about other issues that sort of plague our conscience. There is cause and reason for hope in God always. It's important to keep that in mind. We long towards a just future, and we work towards that, and we fight towards that. That's very, very important to keep in mind. It's not illusory hope. It's hope that has actual steps and things to work on. So that's important to keep in mind. And so perhaps for us, the hopeful warmth, joy, or whatever it is that the psalmist is expressing here is something we can feel and experience, at least in fragments and glimpses today and in the weeks to come. Because the world is a difficult place, life is hard, but we do have the promise of God's love always, and we have each other. I know in my life, and I've just shared with the congregation information about my upcoming brain surgery. Some detail, not a lot. I'm happy to discuss that further with anybody. I'm pretty open, kind of an open book about that. It's a really scary thing to think about, but I've pretty much accepted risks associated with that and look forward to kind of getting it done and being on the other side of it. I'm a candidate for laser ablation surgery, and I'm actually kind of lucky in that I have epilepsy and I'm able to treat it with surgery. So I trust my doctors, and I'm prayerful about that, and I appreciate your prayers of support in this process of preparing for it. It's likely to be in the next about a month or so. I'm not sure exactly when, don't have a date set, but I'll have to take a month off after that to rest and recover, and then slowly work my way back into the job. But I should be able to return, hopefully, to full function afterwards. It may affect some aspects of a little bit of who I am, not changing my personality in any fundamental way, but Just a little bit, but most people that have this are pretty happy they did. So it's an intervention that kind of needed to happen, and I'm glad I was able to make the decision. And I really appreciate the prayers and support of all you members of the congregation and my wider circle of family and friends who have been a part of this process. I know it hasn't been easy. The emotional roller coaster of preparing and making decisions and thinking the stuff through, for the super long conversations with me about everything. I suppose I pant for getting this over with and getting on with my life. But I just trying to serve God as best I can in the way I can in this time and place. So I appreciate your patience with me. And I guess we'll get through this together. So those are my reflections for today. I encourage you to continue the conversation, and we'll close with prayer. God, the source of our desire, your word unfolds across our hearts, like morning light spreads across the sky. Inspire within us a deep thirst for your justice, as we wonder at your beauty, that we may share it with all in need. Amen. And now, dear friends, I wish you blessings and peace until we meet again. Amen.